Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Continuing from the last episode I put up, I tried to change the format slightly. I only put that up yesterday, so I genuinely don't know what the stats are going to be like come next upload time. So subject to how that pans out, how many thumbs up I get, depends on how this video is going to go. Anyway, continuing from last upload, ladder to build, which is very similar to the steps. Basically it will come down like so, but she's not too great on heights anyway, and then I've got to find a way of putting some handrails on. Again, I don't know how I'm going to do any of this. I mean she's not asking for much, is she? But I need to accommodate her, so I've got to figure it out, and I'm not sure at the moment how that is all going to pan out. I've just been playing around with some of these lights. I found where most of my wires have got to go, so I know where the switches are. I've just added those LEDs to the side. Got one more to put in under here to beam this area here up. Over here, which is really weird, put in some normal LEDs, but they don't glow bright white. They have an orangey sort of tinge to them, which is quite nice actually, I have to be honest. I was a little surprised by that. I thought these were going to be a load of rubbish. I've got a few left over. Actually debating, but I don't think that's going to be possible because I've got to remove all of that fan that I was debating about putting some in there. I don't think I'm going to. It's just more aggro than it's worth. I'd rather put a strip LED under there, but then that'll come out a different colour, although I do have a yellow one that I could add to that. I've got a bulb up there that was just testing the circuit. That one was also just testing the circuit. That never had a circuit at all. I've just added that one, so that'll be on a separate switch along with that. So this one, and if I strip light under there, will be on one separate switch. Flick it up, they come on, that one will come on, they will come on, and a yellow strip under there will come on. The main light, which I haven't put a circuit in for either on this one, was originally going to be shared with this, so we might have to put another circuit in there just to get a centre light for more light if we need it. Under here you've got the strip light that you can see, plus this one. Because I've now lost my LED centre light, I'm going to use this one and run it up and across to the ceiling, because I already have the locker light in place. That locker light and that locker light, which is what that will be eventually, will be on one switch. So we've got a switch for the lockers in here, a switch for the lockers in here, and a switch for the lockers in here. So that's 3 switches required. Then I want 3 separate switches running the centre lights. So I'm going to be putting 2 tubes in each area, apart from this one. I mean, this might just get one as yet, I don't know. I've got some LEDs to put down on the steps. My mate took the mickey out of me. He said it'll look like a nightclub having LEDs on there, but I want them, so sod him. I don't care what he thinks. We've also got some LEDs to go in under here when we figure out how we're going to power them up, and as I said before, they could be powered quite easily on some springs that you get similar to a battery pack, and I will be doing the same. I will be doing the same over here as well with some other lights that have got to go in, remembering we've got a bathroom and a toilet. So that's it. That's about as far as I'm taking this today. Right, the ship's ladder, the platform idea that we had, that's gone out of the window. Quite simply, that gap is just too small. You can't stand on anything. You can't sit on the edge with your legs dangling, because your head's going to be all bent forward, so it's just not going to work. Platform is a no-go. I really don't think she's going to cope with this at all. So we're going to continue with this anyway, because I want to use that area, because it's nice, you know, nice and high up. I plan to put portholes, more windows up there, so we can get better views. Unfortunately, due to the fiberglass moulding, we can't put one massive panoramic window in place. I wish we could, can't. But there's nothing to stop us from putting perspex over there and there if we wanted, or portholes, elongated ones or circular. Can't do anything over there because there's a panel on the outside, but we don't need that one anyway. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this. I'm going to set camera up, and duplicate what I've already done. The bottom step will start about here, where that join is, or where that join is going to be, and up there we're going to try and find a long hinge that can fit on that side and hinge up onto there somehow, although at the moment I'm not 100% sure how. And we may have to cut it in the middle with a hinge under here so it can fold in on itself, but with that being like that at the bottom, I genuinely don't know how well excuse me, I don't know how that's going to turn out. Basically, with that the way it is, that notch sticking down, folding this up flat might be a bit tricky, so we might have to have the fold a little higher up so this larger area can fold up behind. I don't know. I'm just test fitting the slits to make sure they are all going to go in. Right, we're not finished yet. I've only done a test fit just to see if I got the heights right and where it's all going to be placed, and whether 2 foot width is enough or too much. Bearing in mind the shower tray is going to come out roughly where my biscuit machine is. I think that might be a little bit too wide. It starts to rain. Right, I've sanded everything back. Everything is where it needs to be. I've marked 16 inches. I was going to cut it in half and fold it, but it's going to have to go into 3. What also means is I'm going to have to put some more of these plates where I cut in order to get them to stay strong. Tight. Don't mind admitting this is not going well. Well, it hasn't quite gone to plan, but everything's there. It folds up. It is relatively neat and tidy. Wife's just sweeping all my dust up at the moment. Mop the floor after, because I've trailed in loads of mud. I copped it up here, so I've got to put a wedge in there and sand it back. This is my first attempt and that really went wrong. I cut a bit off there and didn't need to. And, as I said, it ain't gone quite to plan. However, once we've sanded this down, I think it might be okay. We might get away with it. But I'll give you a demo. So it's kind of there, but it's very rickety, very weak. So we'll let the glue dry, I think, and we'll pick this up tomorrow. As I was saying, hasn't quite gone to plan. I've oh, it's ripping heavy. Oh, you bugger. Right, that's the problem. Those hinges have stopped it from going into that space, and because it's so heavy as well, I'm worried about getting my fingers trapped in the damn thing. So really it's going to be a case of get some straps made, strap this up so it's like one big fat bundle, and then may have to cut along that line there behind where the wood is and weld another hinge onto that, so I can then fold that piece in and then it can be slung in. It's worked, it's in, a bit crude, but as you can see, it's there. Now, it's wonky, yes. It's a bit rickety, yes. That I've now got to iron out. Now that I've got the fundamental mechanism working, or should I say, now that the blasted mechanism is fully operating the way it... Right, I've wasted enough time on this. None of what I've done has worked. The biggest issue is these hinges here. And I can't corrugate it so all the hinges are on the same side because it won't flat pack properly. Absolute blinking nuisance. I've tried putting supports just to see what would happen really, but as soon as you stand on this one, that one goes in because of the hinge points here. They flip up like that. You see what's happening? So this is a no-go as a flat pack style ladder. I wished it was, but it isn't going to happen, and that's really annoyed me, but it is what it is. So the only other thing I can do now is one of two things. Is either I scrap this all together and buy an aluminium ladder, which I don't really want. I want nice big wide treads. So I could potentially build the treads up on the ladder, bolt through the alley and put wooden blocks. Obviously coming down a ladder barefoot is quite uncomfortable, but the treads on the ladder are a little wider apart and I needed them actually quite close for her. So the only other thing I can think of is to cut some plywood like that stuff, fill the sides in down here, get a chisel, knock all of these off because they're no longer needed, get rid of the hinges, sand it all back, glue everything, put a nice piece of trim all the way down here, see about putting some bits of wood in those gaps there just to tighten them up a bit, and we'll have to literally just pick it up and throw it in. That's all we can do. I'm not seeing it flying out, but we could put a strap in there. But if I could somehow, and again this is just not something I want to do at the moment, but if I could find a way of sliding the thing up in the air and then hooking it up onto some brackets on the roof somehow using a pull cord, that would be great. The upholstery material for those has come, and I want to crack on with that, and I also want to get on with that so I can get some more light in here. At the moment there is not enough light. I also have got some fiberglass materials coming tonight from a guy who no longer needs it, which I'm quite excited about, and I would like to start making a dash panel for the monitors. There's another monitor to go in, you see, so that would be 3 monitors, and I'd like to make a dash panel for that, and another switch panel like this to go over there in the cab area. And I'd also like to make up some fiberglass cups that can fit in the side of the van for the other cameras that got to go on, and I've also got to make something for the mirrors as well, so it'd be nice to be able to make up some pods for the cameras to fit into that can bolt onto the mirrors, because there is nowhere for me to put them on the truck. I can't find an area that's going to work, so having the cameras point in an upright position to the roof line would be great. This is a bust at the moment, so I'm going to take this all down. I'm going to sling everything, that's all the hardware that's on it, and we're going to cut some more wood. Right, I've done everything I can possibly think of with this ladder and it ain't working. Doesn't matter what I try, it don't work. Oh well, rest in peace, wood. It's done, destroyed, smashed up, no longer. I couldn't make it work, no matter how hard I tried. It just was not going to happen. well, we won't be cutting wood in this weather. Okay, in the next episode you will see us putting the upholstery together. We have the cushions back, we have the upholstery patterns are all made up, we've just got to pull it all tight and work away at fitting it all on to the carpet panels. And sorry for the darkness, but also we're going to get this switch panel once and for all sorted out. That's for next week.